matter what you do, it's going to be a problem, because inevitably we have people that come in here and say, well, gee, why doesn't the city go on out and take care of this problem? Because, you know, we see these problems all through the city and they're not doing anything about it. You know, and if you just wait for the citizens to report, you end up with that side of the argument. On the other hand, if we're out there looking for it, then they feel like you're just picking on it because you're out looking. And so it's kind of a, you know, a lose-lose situation when, no matter which way you go. So I just thought, you know, you might be interested in knowing we have had a full-time code enforcement officer in the past.
Carl.
Dave, after the administrative hearing or decision, and then the administrative, is it judge?
Law judge, administrative law judge.
Makes a decision, is there an appeal process the resident can do? Because I didn't see that addressed in here. Maybe I missed it in here.
There is an appeal process.
And who's the appeal authority?
The appeal goes straight to the district court.
So
District
from
court
an
judge.
administrative, it goes, then does it go to a, doesn't go to criminal, it just goes to a,
Goes to, what happens is, that's why you keep the tape recording, deal, a decision of an administrative law judge. A transcript is prepared of the hearing. It goes up to a district court judge, the second district court, and that judge reviews the record. That judge doesn't have conduct a new hearing. That judge doesn't take any new evidence. The judge just reviews what happened at the administrative hearing to make sure that everything was done appropriately, that the citizen was afforded due process, and that the administrative law judge's decision was based on the evidence and a correct interpretation of the law.
and then that's, would be final at that point, pretty much.
I believe it is final at that point. I don't believe there's a further appeal after that.
Was that addressed in here, or is that just?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's in the civil criminal one, not in the, okay. All right.
I think just as a matter of practical experience that I've had, kind of backing up what Dave is saying, I've attended a number of our justice court sessions, and Judge Lambert always asks the plaintiff, you know, if they're guilty or not guilty, or want to plead no contest. And if they plead guilty, they're guilty. If they plead no contest, they get fined. The only time they have a chance to say anything is if they're pleaded innocent, and then they have to start this process with lawyers and hearings and all that sort of thing. So I think this would be a real benefit to our citizens to be able to sit down and tell their side of it outside of the criminal court system. So I think that's a very good point we need to keep in mind. So if there is, Annette, we need probably some ordinance numbers for these two ordinances, so we can.
For code enforcement, it's 2010-09, and then for the criminal versus civil, it's 2010-10.
Okay, we'll take these one at a time. Council, do I have a motion on item 6, the code enforcement ordinance number 2010-09? Ron?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass code enforcement ordinance 2010-09.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion on that item? We'll start with Grant.
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
and Carl.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you, council. We'll finish up item 7 then in the same manner. Do I have a motion for ordinance 2010-10?
I'd like to move that we approve ordinance number 2010-10, ordinance of the North Ogden City Code creating a new administrative hearing process.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Okay, Wade
Yes.
and Ron,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
and Brent.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Passes unanimously as well. Item number 8 on the agenda is the impact fee agreement that we're putting together with the Northview Fire District. I will again, let our city attorney, Dave Carlson, address that issue.
The city enacted an impact fee for fire equipment, and that was previous to the creation of the Northview Fire District. So the purpose of this agreement is to authorize the city that when it collects those impact fees are collected at the time that a building permit is issued. And the city's the one, even though the money's going to go to the fire district, the city collects it. And so what the purpose of this interlocal agreement, and interlocal agreements are the ways that government, by state law, this is the way that two different governmental entities enter into an agreement. There's certain requirements that are required to be in these agreements, and they have to be, usually they have to be approved by the governing body of each entity. And so the purpose of this, that's the reason for interlocal agreements. State law spells out how they have to be, what kind of format they have to be, what kind of clauses have to be in them. They have to be approved by the governing bodies for all the entities involved. And then the purpose of this particular agreement is just to because these impact fees were enacted before the Northview Fire District even existed. The purpose of this agreement is just to authorize the city to take those impact fees that it collects and pay them to the Northview Fire District. Now, the Northview Fire District intends to go out and enact its own, and that's stated in the agreement. They intend to go out and enact their own impact fee agreement. And at that point, the city's impact fee agreement would cease to be enforced. But that really isn't going to make a big difference because the city's still the one that will have to collect it. Because impact fees are collected when new construction occurs, and so the city would still be the agent for the Northview Fire District to collect that impact fee. That's why that's in there in the agreement. They say they're going to enact their own impact fee. They're going to do their own study. They're going to do all the hard work of getting that impact fee enacted. But this agreement is just a kind of bridge until then to allow the city to pay the impact fees it's collecting over the fire district.
Ron?
In the first paragraph, it looks to me like this was a boilerplate document that was originally written for Pleasant View City, and Pleasant View City did not get changed to North Ogden City.
Yes.
And so,
Or testing.
On page 4, there's one also.
okay, that was the only one I noticed right off.
Good catch.
Wade?
So this, we've already been doing this. We're just trying to clean it up a little bit. The impact fees aren't being increased or anything. We're just, because we've been doing it since it's been in existence, right?
We've been collecting the fees. This just authorizes the city now to pay those fees to the Northview Fire
Okay,
District.
I thought so. I just wanted clarification. Thank you.
However, there is a provision in there for North Ogden City to collect an administrative fee, to handle.
Haven't we been collecting it and giving it to them?
We do. We do not collect administrative fee. We give them an impact fee.
The administrative fee would be a little bit, the city would keep to cover its cost of collecting the
But
fee.
yeah, we're not going to be doing anything different now than we have been doing, all right? So this is not.
It's not a
This
new,
is not.
it's not a new fee.
Okay, well,
It's just authorizing the city to take the revenue from an existing fee that's already being charged